Ne3rdom. We're about to hit you up with episode 6.
Yeah.
All right. So it's not gonna be like a full movie review or game review. We want to do our top 5 for the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that are out currently.
Yeah. So with Spider-Man coming out, potentially my new number 1. Potentially, Spider-Man is my favorite character. We wanted to go ahead and do our current top 5. These movies go all the way back to 2008 now.
Yeah, which is a long time.
Yep. So we'll give you the order of the movies as they came out currently. So in 2008, Iron Man came out. 2008, The Incredible Hulk came out. 2010, Iron Man 2 came out. 2011, Thor came out. Also that year, Captain America: The First Avenger came out, and a year later, The Avengers came out. That ended Phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 2 kicks up, and Iron Man 3 comes out 2013. It's amazing that they've done these movies so quickly. When you really think about it. No, it doesn't seem like it's been that quick, but really it has. Not too many years go without one of these movies. 2013 also Thor: The Dark World. 2014 we got Captain America: Winter Soldier and the first Guardians of the Galaxy. 2015 we had Avengers: Age of Ultron and Ant-Man, which I completely forgot that Ant-Man existed when we first started talking about this. 2016 Captain America: Civil War and Doctor Strange. And then most recently 2017 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Hey, Kara. So, with those movies listed, let's go ahead and get into it. She's trying to eat your hair. That's funny.
Oh man, that's a lot of. You don't think that there's that many movies?
That's a lot of movies.
That's actually a lot of movies.
Yeah, that's a good number of movies. And quickly, I mean, really, when you think about it, 2008 you had 2. 2010 you had 2 more. 2011 you have 2, and then there's just been 2. This is the first year we're actually getting 3 in 1 year,
and that's almost close to a decade's worth of movies.
Yeah, next year when so next year will be what, Avengers: Infinity War, and literally a decade of movies and Marvel Cinematic
pretty
Universe.
Good quality movies. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
ups and downs in there. But
we've had peaks and valleys, but overall, they've done a really good job of
being kind of
consistent. Yeah, you can't really fault them for that. That's been the biggest thing. Sure, there's more that you like. You like more than you like others, but overall, there
haven't been any duds, really.
No. So that being said, let's get into it. Number 5, Leonard's number 5.
And this was hard for me because anybody who knows me knows I'm really OCD about lists. So, all right. So, number 5 for me is going to be Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Had to cut out a whole bunch of other movies to get to this top 5, so I had to really.
Well, yeah, because there's 16.
Yeah, so I had to go through and rationalize each one of my choices like I was drafting an NBA team. That's how I approached it.
Yeah.
So Winter Soldier would be like my big man. Like, I liked it.
I love that you're gonna break it down like it's.
I liked it. It was
like it's a sporting team.
there were no real weaknesses in the movie.
Yeah.
The plot was great. It was a different. All the ones that made my top 5 made it because they did something different than the majority of the movies on the list. So this one was the first time you really got to see Cap like hurt people, like fight. The fight choreography was good in it. The story was great. The introduction of Winter Soldier in it was great. Scarlet Witch. Black Widow was great in it. All the characters in the movie hit the points that they were supposed to make.
Yeah.
I never got bored watching the movie, and it was the movie was a Cap showcase of we're gonna let him just go wild and be Cap, because I do believe that was the movie with the elevator fight scene.
Yes.
which is like one of the best
Yes.
fight scenes in a Marvel movie so far, when they were in that small enclosed space. So number 5 for me would be Captain America: Winter Soldier. Beat out a whole bunch off of that list. So
there's a lot on that list.
That would be my number 5 for my top 5.
So my number 5 is the one that kicked everything off. Iron Man. Okay. Iron Man is my number 5 because it sets the tone of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jon Favreau came in. People didn't really expect that from him as a director. You know, most of us knew him for Swingers and things of that nature. But you know, he really kicked it off. He did it in a big way, and I think on some level you have to respect that. That's why he is getting into my number 5 when I think there might be some that are actually better.
Okay. Can't complain about that.
Okay. So you want me to go first on number 4? So now
I guess you can do your number 4.
Okay, my number 4 is, man, I don't know. My number 4 is the Avengers.
Okay. The first one?
The first one, yes. Because my top 3 are probably the most fun in any of all of them. But the Avengers is very fun. Splash page after splash page, just great. It was the first time we got to see those characters on screen together, seeing them build it as a team. I mean, there's not much I can say about the Avengers that other people haven't already said or already know. Josh Whedon came in and knocked it out of the park, so much so that they're gonna let him go and fix the Justice League movie, and he's gonna take on Batgirl. So, you know, he really knocked it out of the park. Not so much with the second one. Did a really great job on the first one.
Okay.
You're number 4.
Number 4 for me is Doctor Strange.
Haha.
It's one of the newer ones.
Yep.
Doctor Strange. So if I'm following my drafting,
yep.
Doctor Strange would be my power forward. It did something different because it started off the magic mysticism side of Marvel, which opens the door for other movies like that. Cumberbatch was great.
Yeah.
As perfectly cast. They did the origin story, which in that case I think they had to do because not a lot of people are as familiar with Doctor Strange. Now everybody knows who Doctor Strange is, so that movie was great for that. So then when you're like, there's different levels of being a comic nerd. So now I don't feel like I'm so nerdy because now other people, I like Doctor Strange too. So it's not just, you like Doctor Strange. You're kind of off on the left there.
Yeah.
Special effects in the movie were great. The plot was kind of predictable to most people, but still in Marvel movie.
Every single one of the setup movies, it has the exact same beats as many things. A lot of people, you know, hated on Strange because they thought it was Iron Man with a magic, or just that's what they thought. So,
and they're like origin movie. You have to go back, but for me, I was happy with the way they made the characters look. Yeah, I was happy with the villain being Dormammu because that's like the main Doctor Strange villain. I was happy with what they did for Baron Mordo. Like everybody, the ancient one at first, I was like, it's a girl.
So did that bother you though? What people called whitewashing? You know, like it doesn't bother me. Like people complain about the same. We already talked about it with because Ghost in the Shell. I don't care
because they explained it in that one where the ancient one in the comics was understood to be Asian, or they explained that the ancient one in this one was Celtic. So they covered their bases on it. Wong was still Asian. Baron Mordo was African American, which in the comics he looked like he was more of a either Middle Eastern European type. So I didn't even notice, to be honest. I just noticed that the ancient one was a bald woman at first. Yeah. And then after a while, you didn't really care.
Yeah.
But I think they they helped open up the magic with that movie, so that's why I picked it, just because it opens up another facet of the Marvel universe within the films.
Yeah. So number 3.
Number 3 for me is the first Avengers.
Building that big man. No, I'm playing.
So that would be my my small forward or my swing man.
Yeah.
Reason for that, usually look at LeBron James. Can do everything. Rebound, score, pass. So for me, the Avengers movie is the Marvel franchise that does everything, because you have everyone together in those films. You've got your Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, you have all of those people in that one film. It works great because they don't neglect any characters in the film. Well, at least in the first one.
Yeah.
They don't. Every character seems to get their equal amount of shine.
Mm-hmm.
The plot was really good. The action was good. The humor in it was really good. The team interaction was... I think there was more team interaction in the second one, minus the Hulk, than there was... No. Yeah, there was more team interaction in the second one than there was the first one. But I picked the first one because it was just... It was like a chemistry that was on screen that I didn't get out of the second one. But my number 3 for my small forward position for my movies would be the Avengers. That specific franchise would be like, to me personally, the LeBron of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, plus, for me, something I forgot to mention, they set up the best cinematic Hulk we've seen.
Yep.
So...
And to clarify, that's the first Avengers, not Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's putting Age of Ultron in their top 5, maybe top 10, but that's because there's some really duds near the bottom of that. My number 3 just came out, Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay.
Fun ride.
Mm-hmm.
Builds on the second one, or it builds on the first one, expands it, does everything it needs to do as a sequel. Some people thought it had a little bit too much jokes in it. A little too many jokes.
Too much humor.
Got a little
campy.
Campy at some points. Drax, looking back on it, Drax is a little funnier than I'd want him to be. And, other than that, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is my number 3.
I can see that.
So, my number 2, saying Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one.
Hey,
is my number 2. But we agreed
Guardians
on something.
is my number 2.
All right. Why is it your number 2?
Guardians is my number 2 because that was another kind of not well known comic to a lot of people, and it opens up the cosmic portion of the Marvel universe. That was the first movie that came. Thor kind of touched on it, but not quite.
Yeah.
And then Guardians was like, okay, well, here's our intergalactic cosmic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The team setup was great. The comedy, the comedic relief in that one was great because you had Rocket, everyone in the cast did something that was humorous in that movie.
Yeah.
The action was great. The special effects were great. The characters were cast. Like, I liked everything about it. Yeah. To me, that feels like that's their, next to the Avengers,
mm-hmm.
that feels like that's their probably second strongest movie franchise right now.
Yeah, I mean, all the same reasons. Casting was perfect. Zoe is perfect. Chris Pratt, saw him in Parks and Rec, thought he was really funny in that. Never expected him to come out and knock it out like that.
And I think in that one, more so than the Avengers movies, I think you can tell that they probably, don't know if it's true, just my personal opinion, it feels like they studied their source material a lot more to fit into, to become the characters that they want it to be, to fit in with the feel of the comics. Because when you watch the movies, it's like they're a dysfunctional family unit that works together. In the same way, that's the same feeling you get when you read the comics.
And I think that has a lot of credit to do. Like, the first movie was directed by James Gunn, was co-written with James Gunn, and I forget the other writer on that movie. Maybe that's why I like that movie a little bit more, because it had a little James Gunn had somebody else there to rein him in, whereas
not be so fantastic.
Yes, on Guardians of the Galaxy 2, James Gunn wrote it and directed it, and there was no other penner on that
to kind of pull you back,
to pull him back and go, hey, yeah, okay, you don't have to be so jokey all the time. We can rein this back a little bit. So that's something that I liked, including coming from James Gunn. That the only movies I had seen by him previously to that was Slither and a movie called Super with Rainn Wilson from The Office, where he he plays that superhero, and Ellen Page is in that movie as well. But that's more of a grounded, real life kind of a ripoff of Kick-Ass type movie, and so it was cool to see him really take on something so big, and really, you can tell he really got into the source material, and really, and even though he changes
some stuff.
He tries to play it really, really close, and I appreciate that. So, and that's a group of characters that really, like me, I never really messed with the Guardians. So, I knew about Rocket just because of Marvel vs. Capcom. So
that's right.
Yeah, like it's the first time I ever saw Rocket was in Marvel vs. Capcom, a video game.
Makes people appreciate Marvel vs. Capcom 2 now because they actually know who all the characters are.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, Guardians is number 2 for me. Number 2 for you. We'll go number 1s now, man. You want to go first? I'll go first.
Okay.
Number 1, a movie that you already mentioned, a movie on your top 5. It was number 5 on yours. It is number 1 for me. Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's a spy espionage movie. Everything you said earlier. It's got some of the best scenes in it. It's got some of the best action that I've ever seen in a Marvel movie. And it's wrapped in this spy movie. The story is so good, and it's so meaty. And unfortunately, it didn't really carry over into Civil War like I really wanted it to. Civil War became a big spectacle movie.
Yeah. And not a continuation.
Not a continuation of what Captain America Winter Soldier was. And that could be because of the effects of, what was the other one? The one that came up before it? Ultron. Yeah, so it could be because
you had a lot of things that needed to be tied up.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, everything about Civil War, it's still up there, top 10. But yeah, man, Captain America's Winter Soldier is, for my money, a perfect Marvel movie. And with everything that you said, before, I mean, it's perfect.
Oh, and then back to the Civil War, it had Arnim Zola in it, another obscure villain that a lot of people probably had no idea who he was, and I liked what they did with him in it. So that movie was great.
I like that movie a lot. And I give that villain a lot of credit because he is just a guy that outsmarts other people.
Yep. And
outsmarts one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe, which was Tony Stark.
Yep.
And gets them to do exactly what they want. But that's like top 10.
Okay.
Number 1.
Number 1 for me is weird because it was number 5 for you.
Number 4.
So was it 4?
Yes, 4.
Okay, so 4 for you. 1 for me was the original Iron Man movie.
Yep.
Man, I bought that DVD. I bought the HD DVD.
No, wait. Yeah, it was my number 5, right?
Yeah, it was your number 5. I think.
Okay.
I bought the DVD. I bought the HD DVD for my 360 because I bought the HD DVD player.
You got King Kong?
Yeah. Those were the 2 I had, man. Oh, no, 3. Had Lord of the Rings, too.
Oh, yeah.
I bought all the merchandise for that movie. Like, that was the... come to think about it, Iron Man was the first Funko Pop I ever bought.
Yeah.
I have a whole line of those that were from the movies. Those were the first ones I ever bought. Used to watch that movie. Iron Man's one of my favorite Marvel heroes, which a lot of people don't know. I don't really have a lot of them in like my nerd cave, but one of my favorite heroes because he has that Batman effect where it's I don't really have superpowers, but I'm smart and I have money and I can help out. It was the first movie which kind of just stuck out as, we're doing superhero, like real great superhero movies now. It was the first one out of the
Shit.
out of the group. Uh-oh.
Oh, fuck. What'd I do?
It was the first one out of the group. We're experiencing some technical difficulties, but the audio's still good, so I'm going to keep going.
Oh, we get him so bad! Oh, that was fucking weird, and now we're right side out.
And see, we're real people with real world problems. So
what
you know
the
that
fuck happened
you know
there?
that this is live, so it's not pre-recorded because we're having issues as they happen.
Oh,
It's not
funny.
NBC. We don't have a team to help us out, but
shit.
we're good. We're back.
If you don't watch
back.
the video of this, then you're not gonna understand. But we just had me fucking around with this thing for a couple minutes.
Yeah, it got inverted or flipped.
Whatever happened.
But to me, Iron Man is one of my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. One of my favorite characters. Since it was the first one in the list. Since it was the first one that came out, it became first on my list.
Okay.
Now that you look at it, some of the special effects look dated because it was the oldest one that came out. But if you look past that, and actually, Robert Downey Jr., one of my favorite actors, that was at the time when it was his comeback story where
because he had all the drug
he had
problems.
the drugs and alcohol problems. No one was casting him. I actually, when they announced it, said he would be perfect to play Tony Stark because Tony Stark had a substance abuse problem too. Maybe he can bring some of his real life stuff into it, and he's done a great job with it. Now, whenever you think of Iron Man, I don't care who you are, you see Robert Downey Jr.'s face.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I mean, Iron Man's a great movie, man. It sets the tone for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Without it, we don't have any of this, and without Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige in those early years, you don't get these other movies. You don't see Marvel taking a chance on Guardians. You don't see him taking a chance later on
like Black Panther
or Doctor Strange. You don't see any of that without Iron Man and them taking a chance with
Iron Man showed them that there was a market for that type of film.
Now, the big fear is that we're going to get burned out on it, but as long as you make good ones, then we won't get burned out. Like, that's the thing. It's like, and like I said, Marvel's had some duds. We can do a bottom 5 list if you really want. We won't do it now.
That'll
we
be
can do another podcast.
We'll do
the next podcast, bottom 5.
It's gonna be tough.
No, it's not. I can tell you like 2 off the bat.
Okay, I can think of 3.
I just need to figure out where they go, but bottom, like 2 off the bat. Thor and Dark World, like they're right there, like off the bat.
This should be like if you're on one of our social media outlets where you're able to comment, let us know what your top 5 are. It probably won't even match up to ours.
Yeah,
it's all personal opinion. It's not saying that this is the be all end all of what's right and what's wrong. It's just what you like personally.
Exactly, and like I said, I mean. Yeah, like Leonard said, get on Facebook. Let us know what your top 5 are, and we can have an open debate about it. Why can't we? Like we don't have to debate about it. Like his top 5.
Just tell us what yours are. I think it's interesting when you list like ours. We had number 2 was the exact same for both.
Yep.
But then our 1s and 5s were flipped.
Yep.
So which I just think that's pretty interesting stuff.
Exactly. So put yours out there. Let us see it. We can mock you. We can tell you why you're wrong and why Captain America Civil War isn't a number 1 movie.
Oh, man.
Good movie, not a number 1 movie. But yeah.
Yeah.
But nah, I mean, yeah, so you can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Ne3rdom.
And we have a giveaway that's coming up next week because I need to unload my duplicates and because it's killing me that I have like 6 and 7 of some of the same things. So we're doing a giveaway for that. And once we have more content come out.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna try to start doing this a little bit more regular basis. And and we're gonna set up an Instagram. So if you want, you can. Or did you already set that up?
Yep, that's already set up.
All right, what is it? Ne3rdom.
Oh, Ne3rdom.
Just Ne3rdom on Instagram. Follow, give that a like. Yeah, I mean, let's be nerds. Let's
and I think we're going to be hitting up SuperCon here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hopefully.
Yeah, depending on.
Hopefully, depends on how work goes because we got to work.
Yeah, we work at the same place, and we're getting weird right now because of other things. But hopefully we can get there. If not, one of us can.
Yeah, and like I said, we still I don't buy as many collectibles as I did, but I still do. So once I start getting those, then I'll do unboxings and reviews, and we'll just have fun.
Yeah, I've kind of cut down on the collectibles. If you guys can look back there, I mean, it's a bookshelf that I built for it, and I'm starting to fill up. And I might actually start selling some of these on eBay because I don't need some of them.
Which is nothing wrong. And for you people who are selling your collectibles, please don't do the scalping thing. Like, I know that you want to make money off of them, or at least make what you paid for it. Yeah. But, it kind of makes it not fun to collect when, you have one person who buys like 70 of them. Yeah. And then holds them to drive the price up, and then it's something that you want to buy, but now you're paying triple the price for it. I'm not telling you guys what to do. It's your hustle. I can't knock your hustle. You're making money, but there's other people in the community that may not be as fortunate as you to be able to have access to those. Like for us, it kills me when there's Walgreens and Target exclusives in our area, because unfortunately our area really doesn't get them. Yeah. So then we're forced to look online, but then when you go online, everyone's like, well, 3 times the price. Yeah, exactly. So just be conscious of your fellow nerds. Like, you gotta look out for each other.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so like I said, Facebook, Instagram. We have a Twitter we don't fucking use,
but it's still there.
But it's there. It's there. Yeah, just get on those, and even you can email us
and be interactive. Let us know your top 5, or if you want to do a top 10, or let us know your top movies. Yeah. See what you say.
So I'll do something today that I didn't really plan on doing, and I don't even know if this code really works. But if it does, then somebody is going to be lucky. I have a free digital copy of Star Wars The Force Awakens. And I have a code for it. So if you are a lucky person and you try this code, you just might get a movie for free. If it hasn't been used already, I'm pretty sure I didn't use it. I'm not 100%. Not 100% positive. Okay, but if you go to forceawakensdigital.com and enter the code C3X9TS8VPTR, you just might get yourself a digital copy of Star Wars The Force Awakens. I'll put that on the screen for anybody watching. Oh. And anybody listening, hopefully you get it. Hopefully you get a fair share at it. But I didn't expect to do that. I had it sitting here. I want to get rid of that shit.
And I'll add on to that. Leave us your top 5. We'll put the names of the people who leave the top 5 into a random number generator on a website, and then I'll give you a free Enchantress
rock candy.
So just comment with your top 5 and let us know, and then we'll get all the people at the end of probably about a week period. Yep. And then put those names into a random generator and pick out a winner.
Cool. Sounds great. So this is Josh for Ne3rdom.
This is Leonard.
And we hope you have a great week. Peace.